高木くんきっとこの先も大丈夫だと思う。絶対。
ありがとう。
What happens when two people love each other but just aren't meant to be together? Takaki Tono and Akari Shinohara are childhood friends, but circumstances beyond their control tear them apart. They promise to stay in contact, and although the progression of time widens the distance between them, the chain of memories remains ever present. 5 centimeters per second is a romantic drama that focuses on the mundane and harsh reality of long-distance relationships. Stuck in the past and unable to make any new memories, Takaki and Akari cling to the hope of seeing each other again. They live their everyday lives half-heartedly, both hurting themselves and the people around them. Told in 3 interconnected segments, we follow Takaki through his life as cruel winters, cold technology, and finally, adult obligations and responsibility converge to test the delicate petals of love.
手が濡れちゃいましたね。
ええ、このまま記念に撮っておきます。
ほら、空が明るくなりました。
Although Jiro Horikoshi's nearsightedness prevents him from ever becoming a pilot, he leaves his hometown to study aeronautical engineering at Tokyo Imperial University for one simple purpose: to design and build planes just like his hero, Italian aircraft pioneer Giovanni Battista Caproni. His arrival in the capital coincides with the Great Kanto earthquake of 1923, during which he saves a maid serving the family of a young girl named Naoko Satomi. This disastrous event marks the beginning of over 2 decades of social unrest and malaise leading up to Japan's eventual surrender in World War II. For Jiro, the years leading up to the production of his infamous Mitsubishi A6M0 fighter aircraft will test every fiber of his being. His many travels and life experiences only urge him onward, even as he realizes both the role of his creations in the war and the hard realities of his personal life. As time marches on, he must confront an impossible question: at what cost does he chase his beautiful dream?
なるかみの少しとよみて降らずとも我は止まらんいもしとどめば
On a rainy morning in Tokyo, Takao Akizuki, an inspiring shoemaker, decides to skip class to sketch designs in a beautiful garden. This is where he meets Yukari Yukino, a beautiful yet mysterious woman, for the very first time. Offering to make her new shoes, Takao continues to meet with Yukari throughout the rainy season, and without even realizing it, the two are able to alleviate the worries hidden in their hearts just by being with each other. However, their personal struggles have not disappeared completely, and as the end of the rainy season approaches, their relationship will be put to the test.
お前どっから来た？
未来から。
飛べんのか？
もう飛べない。
話しちゃったのか俺。
うん。
信じたのお前。
うん。
バカじゃね。
そうかも。
そんなこと言いにわざわざ来たのかよ。
うん。
Makoto Kono is in her last year of high school but is having a hard time deciding what to do with her future. In between enduring the pressure of her teachers and killing time with her best friends, Makoto's life suddenly changes when she accidentally discovers that she's capable of literally leaping through time. The girl who leapt through time follows Makoto as she plays around with her newfound power. However, she soon learns the hard way that every choice has a consequence, and using the power for her own personal benefits is affecting the lives of others just as much as her own. After all, time is a lot more complicated than it may seem.
それ、人間の子供か。食べてもいいか。
ダメだよ。友達なんだ。
そうか。
Intrigued by the tale of a mountain god, 6-year-old Hotaru Takegawa loses her way in the ancient forest while visiting her uncle. Exhausted and desperate for help, Hotaru is thrilled to find a masked forest spirit named Gin. She learns the hard way that she should not touch the boy or he would disappear. In spite of this, Gin leads Hotaru out of the forest and warns her never to return when she promises to come again with a gift. Paying no heed to his cautionary words, and despite being separated by both distance and planes of existence, Hotaru and Gin become close friends as she visits him every summer. However, their relationship and resolve are put to the test when romantic feelings conflict with the one and only rule. Based on Yuki Midorikawa's manga of the same name, Hotarubi no Morie is a tale of friendship and compromise of two people who should never have crossed paths as their lives become hopelessly intertwined.
子供たちをよろしく頼むよ。そう言ったように母には聞こえました。任せて。ちゃんと育てる。
Hannah, a hard-working college student, falls in love with a mysterious man who attends one of her classes, though he is not an actual student. As it turns out, he is not truly human either. On a full moon night, he transforms, revealing that he is the last werewolf alive. Despite this, Hannah's love remains strong and the two ultimately decide to start a family. Hannah gives birth to two healthy children. Ame, born during rainfall, and Yuki, born during snowfall, both possessing the ability to turn into wolves, a trait inherited from their father. All too soon, however, the sudden death of her lover devastates Hannah's life, leading her to raise a peculiar family completely on her own. The stress of raising her wild-natured children in a densely populated city, all while keeping their identity a secret, culminates in a decision to move to the countryside, where she hopes Ame and Yuki can live a life free from the judgments of society. Wolf Children is a heartwarming story about the challenges of being a single mother in an unforgiving modern world.
もうこんな街嫌や。こんな人生嫌や。来世は東京のイケメン男子にしてください。
Mitsuha Miyamizu, a high school girl, yearns to live the life of a boy in the bustling city of Tokyo, a dream that stands in stark contrast to her present life in the countryside. Meanwhile in the city, Taki Tachibana lives a busy life as a high school student while juggling his part-time job and hopes for a future in architecture. One day, Mitsuha awakens in a room that is not her own and suddenly finds herself living the dream life in Tokyo, but in Taki's body. Elsewhere, Taki finds himself living Mitsuha's life in the humble countryside. In pursuit of an answer to this strange phenomenon, they begin to search for one another. Your Name revolves around Mitsuha and Taki's actions, which begin to have a dramatic impact on each other's lives, weaving them into a fabric held together by fate and circumstances.
お母ちゃんもう指輪せえへんのかな。節子にくれはったんやろうか。
As World War II reaches its conclusion in 1945, Japan faces widespread destruction in the form of American bombings, devastating city after city. Hotaru no Haka, also known as Grave of the Fireflies, is the story of Seita and his sister Setsuko, two Japanese children whose lives are ravaged by the brutal war. They have lost their mother, their father, their home, and the prospects of a bright future, all tragic consequences of the war. Now orphaned and homeless, Seita and Setsuko have no choice but to drift across the countryside, beset by starvation and disease. Met with the apathy of adults along the way, they find that desperate circumstances can turn even the kindest people cruel. Yet their youthful hope shines brightly in the face of unrelenting hardship, preventing the siblings from swiftly succumbing to an inevitable fate.
今日はどうしたの？風邪？なんか流行ってるよね。
自然に遅れそうだから。じゃあ。
The aloof protagonist, a bookworm who is deeply detached from the world he resides in. He has no interest in others and is firmly convinced that nobody has interest in him either. His story begins when he stumbles across a handwritten book titled Living with Dying. He soon identifies it as a secret diary belonging to his popular, bubbly classmate Sakura Yamauchi. She then confides in him about the pancreatic disease she is suffering from and that her time left is finite. Only her family knows about her terminal illness, not even her best friends are aware. Despite this revelation, he shows zero sympathy for her plight, but caught in the waves of Sakura's persistent buoyancy, he eventually concedes to accompanying her for her remaining days. As the pair of polar opposites interact, their connection strengthens, interweaving through their choices made with each passing day. Her apparent nonchalance and unpredictability disrupts the protagonist's impassive flow of life, gradually opening his heart as he discovers and embraces the true meaning of living.
友達
だよ。気持ち悪い。
As a wild youth, elementary school student Shoya Ishida sought to beat boredom in the cruelest ways. When the deaf Shoko Nishimiya transfers into his class, Shoya and the rest of his class thoughtlessly bully her for fun. However, when her mother notifies the school, he is singled out and blamed for everything done to her. With Shoko transferring out of the school, Shoya is left at the mercy of his classmates. He is heartlessly ostracized all throughout elementary and middle school, while teachers turn a blind eye. Now in his third year of high school, Shoya is still plagued by his wrongdoings as a young boy. Sincerely regretting his past actions, he sets out on a journey of redemption, to meet Shoko once more and make amends. A silent voice tells the heartwarming tale of Shoya's reunion with Shoko and his honest attempts to redeem himself, all while being continually haunted by the shadows of his past. Thank you for watching my video about the top 10 saddest anime movies that will make you cry. Make sure to smash like, subscribe and hit the bell for more anime videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.